Well, look, she's doing, I think, actually quite an important job. She's getting a lot of criticism here in Britain, but she's doing everything I think she can to get a deal we've now only got 5 weeks to go. The pips are starting to squeak as all these big international, and this is a massive financial deal and political deal she's trying to do here, to reverse what has been the course of history in most of Europe for the last 50 years. Obviously, it's a big, big deal. So the pips are starting to squeak, and it's a test of nerves of both sides. But she's holding to her guns, it seems. She's definitely trying to get a proper deal by the 29th, and she's making it clear to the rest of the Brussels bureaucrats that if she doesn't get her deal, that she's prepared to leave with no deal. So they are having to look to themselves and wonder, well, maybe we have to make a few compromises here in order to make an orderly Brexit, which will be good for the EU. On the other side, of course, you've got a lot of pressure on the EU negotiators, and this is particularly Verhofstadt and Barnier, to make sure the British get a bad deal of some sort in order to send a very clear message around Europe that nobody else should seek to follow Britain out of the Brussels government, which is effectively what it is. The President of the European Commission is considered the President of Europe now, and this is considered the government. The big worrying thing about this is that none of these people have ever been voted in by the people of Europe, by the people of Britain or anywhere else. They are just appointed by the political superiors from the various parties around Europe. So the Greeks actually, the last vote I've seen, I had a good look on this today for you, and it's 71% of Greeks want to leave the European Union. They were given a vote in 2015 in July. They voted against the bailout deal, and yet they had to accept the bailout deal anyway. So we've also got the Italians wanting to leave. In Italy, they've got a left-wing party and a right-wing party, both wanting to leave in an alliance. And we've just seen this incredible spat between the Greeks and the Italians.
Tony, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, Tony, but I really want to get the second question to you. This new independent group, we only have less than 2 minutes left. This new independent group, are the Tories at risk now of collapsing? It seems like there are defectors one after the next into this defendant, this independent group. Is this is the party at risk of completely dissipating now?
No.
Over Brexit?
I don't think this changes anything for Brexit at all. This is really an attack by ordinary individual MPs, very small number, minority MPs, against the leadership of their parties. But of course, that leadership, generally speaking, is being supported by the membership of those parties. So not only are these MPs going against the party in Westminster, they're also going against the people who are members of those parties who vote for whoever are the leaders. But I mean, looking around Europe at all these various countries, France, Sweden, Hungary, I don't agree with betting, but here in Britain we have betting shops where you can go and bet on these things, and there are enormous odds now on who is going to be the next country to leave. And there's so many countries on the list. We're talking about France, Hungary, Czech Republic, Italy, Greece, Sweden. The French, also the French Yellow Jackets, you'll see I've got my yellow shirt on here in support of them, they all want to leave the EU too. So will there still be a cohesive Brussels European Union for Britain to leave in 5 weeks' time? Because there's so many people that want to get out. They're just not being allowed to have referenda. And if there were referenda in those countries, you would find it would be like rats leaving the sinking ship. Many, many people, many countries would be getting out. And that would mean a very good thing, because the European country can get along fine as individual countries without these bureaucrats trying to tell them what to do, a kind of technocratic government from Brussels, which I think is pretty clear now that most of Europe has had enough of.
Thank you, both of you gentlemen, for joining us. We're out of time. Robert Ilinkesh out of London, Tony Gosling out of Bristol. Thank you both. And viewers, that's a wrap for your news review. Thank you for joining us, and bye-bye for now.